Now we will talk about kinetic energy. Now, kinetic energy is a very important topic, and you already know about it. We learned about it in the previous classes, but here we will see in more deeper aspect. Kinetic energy is an energy object has due to motion. It is defined as the work done to accelerate a body of given mass from rest to a certain velocity. So what does it mean? It means that if there is a ball which is at rest, suppose this is a ball. This is at rest. Okay. Now you are kicking the ball. You are kicking the ball, and the ball is now moving in this direction. And when it's moving, it has a certain velocity in it. When the ball is in this position, it has now certain velocity, suppose 2 meters per second. At this position, it was 0 meters per second. So kinetic energy is the energy of an object due to the motion. It is defined as the work done to accelerate a body of a given mass from rest to certain velocity. From rest to certain velocity, a certain acceleration was needed so that the ball could come into a certain motion. So from rest to coming to a certain velocity or certain acceleration, the amount of work done is called kinetic energy. So obviously you have to give some force on the ball so that the ball could move. Ball could go from the rest to a motion. So that means our work is done. When you applying a force and a ball is moving, it's coming to a moving from the rest. That means when it's moving, it's covering a certain distance. So distance into the force you apply is the work done. So that means a certain work is already doing. So when the ball is in motion, when it is at 2 meters per second velocity, that amount of work is called the kinetic energy. Example, driving a car, throwing a ball I've shown. Driving a car, what happens? So this is a car, suppose. Sorry about the throwing again. Sorry about the drawing, but suppose this is a car and the car is at rest. The car is at rest and 0 meters per second, and you are moving it and you are taking it from the rest to motion. After applying certain velocity, now the car is in motion. Now the car is in motion. Suppose 3 meters per second. So from the rest to motion, you have to apply some force within the car. So that force into displacement is a certain work done. So that work done is equal to the kinetic energy. So that means the body needed some kinetic energy in order to get into a moving position or in order to get into a motion. So kinetic energy formula is equal to half into mv square. Now half m is what? Mass of the object. Here the mass of the car is necessary in order to find out the kinetic energy of this object, and v is the velocity. So you will be knowing when a body is coming from a rest to a motion, that means a certain velocity must be there. So for this car, it is 3 meters per second. So when you use this formula, you will get the kinetic energy for this object, or for this car. So driving a car, throwing a ball, any object, when you are making the object from rest position, taking the object from rest position to a motion, that means kinetic energy will be there.